muk rak wem rak nachitangunga marak muk rak wem raj 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 nachitangunga marak muk Bonyara da combare, bopujane, bopujane. 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 Hey, Bonyara da combare, bopujane, bopujane. 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 Thank you all for being a part of our Dumbuk ceremony today. It's our smoke. And thank you for your eyes, your ears, your nose, all our senses that help us connect to this country that we're on, country now known as Australia. I'd like to welcome my auntie up to the stage, who will officially welcome us to country.
Thank you for that welcome up to the stage. My name is Joyce Donovan. I'm a Dharawal Wadi Wadi woman. My father's Irish and my mother's Aboriginal. My great-grandmother is a full-blooded Aboriginal and her father was a black tracker. Actually, he was famous for finding the body of the farmer Fred Fisher from Fisher's Ghost. Our area is from La Perouse right down to Wreck Bay area. We're saltwater people, so most of our traditional foods come from the sea. Our medicines, I mean, when I think about our people, we are the sickest, poorest people in the whole wide world. Our people are the most incarcerated people. When you look at traditional days, my mother was a healer. Our medicines were our plants, from the flora and the fauna, from the sea. If we look at the sea is something very special for us. You know, the seaweed was used for carbuncles. Sea lettuce was used for lots of skin ailments. I came and was born from La Perouse, so we could swim before we could walk. We never ever seen asthma. And I know that my mother was a healer. We never went to hospitals. We had to go home to my mother. I was in hospital when I was 28. I've actually moved a bit of furniture and I've pinched a nerve and I've got no patience for illness. Unfortunately today, all our medicines are not accessible. Because of development, we can't go and get our medicine that kept my grandparents healthy. I'm one of 6 children, the only one left. I'm 77. My mother died at 67. But if you look at my grandparents and older Aboriginal people, they lived for many, many years because of our lifestyle. You know, the heart health people say, you know, do 20 minutes brisk walk for your heart. Well, if you stop and think of traditional Aboriginal people, they'd walk from La Perouse all down this south coast, or walk with a message stick. Our food was healthy food. Our food consisted of, lily pillies, 60% more higher in vitamin C than oranges. If you have a look at fish, the beautiful fish that we'd eat, all the vegetables, the meats, kangaroo, you know, the fat content of kangaroo is virtually nil. So our people, they walked everywhere, they were lean, they were healthy. A lot of the other foods and the medicines. Permaway, who were a descendant of the great rainbow warrior, he'd go away to the bush and you know, another thing that was used for broken bones, sprains and aches, the bangalow palms. If you put them on the affected area, it set like plaster, wet it and you got a plaster set there. So our people used poultices, leaves that were washed clear of the toxins in the river. Our people were the experts on healing. Besides the medical, also the spiritual and the cultural, the healing that's done, the practices that we still do. You know, when you talk about health, I believe that health chose me. My mother was a healer. I believe in healing. I believe that health chose me. I worked in Aboriginal health for 24 years. 1995, myself and another Aboriginal health worker, we went and done our nursing. I've actually wore that old registration pin here today. It's something that I'm very, very proud of. That we can bring together our cultural practices and the medical side of things. As you know, closing the gap, our people are dying at a fast rate. Actually today I've got a sister-in-law being buried up north. I had a sister-in-law buried a few weeks ago. Out of 8 sister-in-law, I'm the only one left. Out of 6 children, I'm the only one left. Our people are dying of cardiovascular, diabetes, and all of those diseases that was brought on by the change in diet, the change from our traditional foods to flour, sugar, and jam. You know, same like the Great Flu, our people died in 1919, including my great-grandmother, because the Aboriginal people were not allowed to go onto their lands to get the kangaroo skin that was waterproof. So there was lots of changes done for the deprimentation of the health and well-being, physically and culturally, in Aboriginal communities and lifestyles. And if you look at, say, the Illawarra, Kiama, up to Picton, there was 33,000 full-blooded Aboriginal people. Within 10 years, there was 13 to 33 full-blooded Aboriginal people. New South Wales, we're at the, we were at the forefront of colonisation, and it's been very hard to try to get that health status back up. But I'd like to acknowledge all you people here that are in the field of health, because you probably see all of our people, with culture, not only the cultural, spiritual stuff that we need, but also with the scientific parts of things. We've worked a lot with the kidney. You know, a lot of our people are suffering with kidney ailments. With the diabetic unit, we've had a lot of people, a couple of my sister-in-laws and their niece, passed away, hemorrhaging, behind your eye. We've still got a long way to go. So if we look back at traditional times, we have not got all of that expertise of our people. In saying all of that stuff, You need an education, because if you're oppressed, got nowhere to live, who cares about your health? So stop and think with Aboriginal people who've lost their land, lost their children. How are you supposed to worry about your diet? How are you supposed to make sure you're getting good nutrition? I believe education is one of the key elements of our health, of our lifestyle. And it can mean life or death for Aboriginal people, because without an education you can't get a good job to feed your family. You can't put a roof over your family's head. And it's a good chance you could end up a black death in custody. So our people, we need all the expertise we need, because it's likely it's our people that you people are going to be looking after, as well as our cultural side of things. I really believe in this place here, UOW Wollongong. I believe this place is a special place. It is a place of healing. It's a place of bridging gaps between Aboriginal people and non-Aboriginal people. I'm 77, I've been to a lot of places. I've been to UTS uni 10 years ago, done double degrees. This is a special place here, but this is only bricks and mortar. It's the people that are here. If you can't make it here, I think you're not going to make it anywhere. So, remember, this place is a special place, because we need you people to work together with our young leaders. Education is so important so that you can live a longer life. You can live a healthier way of life. And we depend on a lot of you people that are here today. So, on behalf of the Dharawal Wadi people and on behalf of Wollongong, I'd like to say, that it's hand in hand, health and education. I'd like to say also that I'd like to give everyone here such a special welcome, because to live we need all you people. We need just to keep there, we need just, to remember our people. We are the sickest, the poorest people, but we are also the longest surviving people in the whole wide world. And if someone goes and does a degree or even TAFE, sometimes that can be the first person that's gone from that community. So they then become a role model, and no doubt a lot of you people will be teaching our people. So I could say, looking at all the people in this room, it's very, very exciting for me. And I know that with Aboriginal health, as health workers, someone said, what's it like, because there's a few other Aboriginal workers, but none that worked in our communities, like the two from Wollongong Area Health. And I always thought it was like we were dressmakers, but we were cutting the materials with a serrated knife. When we became nurses, we had beautiful dressmaking scissors. We could take our people. We took all the units out to Kumadichi Mission. And I remember in the nursing training, they said if someone's 25, their sugar levels, they're probably dead. Well, our first patient was 25. We had undiagnosed people. Education helped us take that out to our community. For the first time, there was a line put in the sand for the cardiovascular heart checks with our people. Also with the breathing, we put all the breathing, blowing and coughing for the otitis media. We were able to go into the schools. We also work closely. We put the first people to put the breakfast programs in all the schools. I'm very proud to have worked with Illawarra Area Health. My area was from Helensburgh right down to Nowra. They were my team, and we had a lot of opportunities to work and take mainstream services out into our community. So, on behalf, as I said, of Wollongong, and behalf of this UOW, behalf of Wadi Dharawal people, I'd like to give a special welcome to everybody that's here today, and congratulations. You're in a very, very honourable profession. I've actually I don't know why, I wore my old nurses' registration pin. And I might add, I remember when I sat for this reminds me, I pinched a nerve. When the day I had to sit for my nursing exams, you wouldn't believe it, that was the first time I pinched a nerve. And I knew that the nurses board only come once a year and I wasn't going to miss it. So I fronted up with a hot water bottle and a big boomerang pillar and shuffled in. And it's ironic that I've done 2 lots of health today and I've got this back again. But no worries, everything worked out. So again, congratulations to all the graduates here today. And I believe it's such an honour. I am a very, very proud Wadi Dharawal woman. I'm also a very, very proud Aboriginal nurse. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Auntie Joyce, for that welcome to country. Welcome, everyone. My name's Professor David Currow. I'm the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Research and Sustainable Futures at the University of Wollongong. I'm thrilled to be your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's proceedings. I would like to acknowledge our Indigenous Strategy Unit and our local Aboriginal community. Their leadership has brought to life a vision for an inclusive, reconciled and united Australia through this graduation ceremony, where we recognise that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are the knowledge holders of country. Thank you to each of you for joining us on this special occasion. Before we begin proceedings, I just ask that you turn your mobile phones to silent. The University is extremely proud of our graduates and we're immensely excited to celebrate your achievements in person today. We also congratulate family and friends who have supported each of our graduates on their journey. We know our graduates have been through a lot. You have endured many aspects of the COVID pandemic and have triumphed. And so we're here today to congratulate you on your many achievements and to acknowledge your dedication and commitment to your goals and your aspirations to make our community and the world a better place. Please join me in congratulating our graduates. Please now stand for an instrumental version of the Australian National Anthem. Please be seated. I would now like to introduce the Deputy Chancellor, one of the university's highest officials, Mr. Warwick Shanks, to give the congratulatory address.
Graduates and your family and friends, welcome to this graduation ceremony. My name is Warwick Shanks. I'm the Deputy Chancellor of the University of Wollongong, and I'm honoured to be here with you today. It is truly one of the highlights of my role to witness students celebrate this great milestone. I'd also like to thank our Indigenous Strategy Unit and members of our Aboriginal community for leading the procession today. The smoking ceremony was very moving and I think makes these events particularly special. I pay my respects to Aboriginal elders past and present and acknowledge their continued spiritual and cultural connection to the lands on which the University of Wollongong campuses are located. As part of today's celebration, we are focusing on the themes of the artwork Cultural Healing by our artists Auntie Lorraine Brown and Auntie Narelle Thomas from the Kumitichi United Aboriginal Corporation. You will see this artwork all around you, on your graduation booklets, as part of the stage design and in various other contexts. The artwork depicts bush tucker, ocean tucker, and medicinal plants and flowers of dreaming stories. All of these things play a role in the health and well-being of Indigenous people, including the stories that explain how things came to be and why we exist. It is also believed that this is where knowledge, strength, and a reason why came from. We hope to continue learning from and building a deeper understanding of this cultural wisdom. Looking out to this marvellous sea of gowns, I'd like to begin by congratulating each and every one of our graduating students. You are the reason that we all do what we do. Indeed, it is a special occasion for all of us, our friends, family, our teachers and mentors. But it is especially significant for you, our graduates. Today's events are the culmination of years of hard work, personal sacrifice and commitment. For many of our graduates, today you will be the first in your family to graduate from university, and this is a tremendous achievement and I'm sure make your families very proud. I hope you feel a deep sense of pride and will take this moment to reflect on your achievements and how far you have come. As a cohort, you have shared in a unique education experience in an extremely challenging time in our history. So much has changed in recent years, and like many industries, universities had to undertake rapid innovation, particularly in our teaching and learning. The strength and determination that you have shown to get here will stay with you and hold you in good stead for many years to come. I hope that your experiences at UOW have shaped not only the person you are today and the career you're about to embark upon, but also the curiosity, the empathy, and the compassion that you will take with you. The world is changing so quickly, and as we face complex social, environmental, and economic challenges, I'm confident that as graduates of the University of Wollongong, you are well placed to lead the way forward. The completion of your studies at UOW places you among the most employable graduates in Australia, and indeed the world. The success of our graduates is one of the many reasons our university enjoys such a strong reputation and is ranked among the top 2% of universities globally and aiming higher every day. With programs at campuses in Dubai, Hong Kong and Malaysia, and with partner institutions in China and Singapore, I hope that you feel proud to be a part of a university with an outstanding reputation that truly spans the globe. Alongside the many changes that will happen in your lives following graduation, today also marks a new type of connection with this university, one I hope will be lifelong, through further study and as a proud ambassador. Joining our vibrant global alumni community of more than 170,000 alumni in almost 200 different countries, you are connected by the shared experience of studying at the University of Wollongong. As much as is possible, I encourage you to maintain this connection with the university and your fellow graduates. The relationships that you have formed during your time here will be invaluable to you in the many years to come. Please know this, graduates, you are our greatest achievement. And, along with our researchers and partners, you are at the heart of UOW's mission to create lasting and positive impact. It is this community of like-minded people that has shaped our university to become a world leader for social and economic impact. Together with our partners, we're working to solve the biggest questions facing society and striving towards a better quality of life for future generations. This ceremony is public recognition of your commitment and achievement. It has been our absolute pleasure and our privilege to have witnessed and played an integral role in your journey. I hope you will soak up every minute of these celebrations. Remember that this is not a conclusion, indeed this is only a beginning. I hope you will capture these feelings of pride, energy and passion and take them with you into your future. The transition you're making today from student to graduate is an opportunity for you to re-establish your priorities, to take stock and to focus on your future. But it is also time to celebrate. Celebrate your hard work and success and know that the world is at your feet. As you set forth in your careers, remember to always be bold, be courageous, be strong, and stay true to your beliefs. Again, my best wishes and congratulations to each of our graduates. May you have a very happy and memorable graduation today, and thank you for making us proud.
Thank you, Deputy Chancellor. It's now my great pleasure to commence the presentation of the graduates to our Deputy Chancellor. I introduce the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health, Senior Professor Eileen McLaughlin, to present the graduates to the Deputy Chancellor for the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health. Professor.
Thank you, Professor Currow. It's my great pleasure to be here celebrating with our graduates today. We're very proud of what you've all achieved, and I wish to convey my personal congratulations to all the graduates. Friends and family, feel free to cheer, whoop, yell whenever your favourite graduate crosses the stage. Will the graduates who are to be presented with undergraduate and postgraduate awards from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health please stand? Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduates to receive awards from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I confirm your admission to the awards for which you have qualified.
Graduates, please be seated.
Jack David Burke. Benjamin Brooks. Josie Alexandra Croker. Cody James Crow Pace. Elise Davey. Jada Forbes. Christiane Claire Hay. Shari Heffernan. Alex Hogan. Piper Grace Hoyer. Jackson Kemp. Zoe Alexandra Lake. Hamish Graham Lamberton. Kiara McKenzie. Megan Ray Mashford. Sean Malloy. Bethany Ann Nielsen. Madeline Lauren Quinn. Riley Swan. Maxwell Taylor. Helena Tobby. Taylor Jaden Vella. Jack Webb. Caitlin Bai. Marley Jaya Carr-Smith. Emily May Clout. Zoe Ann Cohallen. Bryce Dreghorn. Malika Jane Durham. Gemma Jane Lee Garner. Grady Harland. Elena Hijniak. Jaden Smileski. Crystal Solevska. Joden Wilson. Noor Hadaya. Michael Heptinstall. Samantha Jane Nance Palmer. Ivana Peric. Sophie Joy Smith. Ryan William Timms. Michael Elizabeth Allenson. Shanae Beavers. Jed Butterworth. Isaac Collins. Emily Lee Gasson. Deborah Hanslow. Sarah Carmel. Mark Layden. Liam Morath. Nathan Atticus Sorsun Pitt. Joanne Nicole Ruffley. Paris Tully. Joshua Murray Vincefi. Jacqueline Julia Vella. Aman. Nina Bala. Keely Beckman Dodds. Georgie Grace Davey. Pamela de Oliveira Ramos. Madeline Doherty. Holly Dowd. Amy Louise Havas. Jessica Ann Hayes. Katerina Humayova. Owen John Kasayan. Kimberly Evelyn Small. Madison Lee Stone. Michael John Benjamin. Jennifer Carroll. Bonita Chan. Courtney Rose Crawford. Belinda Flowers. Emily Rose Fraser. Alicia Jane Helen Harvey. Alicia Rose Horan. Samantha Johnson. Yash Kainth. Alice Ruby Latham. Zara Jean Osborne. Annette Lynn Peace. Lilu H. Roberts. Madison Rudbean. Stephanie Tenevsky. Jared Andrew Troth. Sophia Salidis. Lachlan Viner. Zainab Bassam. Ruby Fragiadakis. Amelia Rose Kirk. Sophie Louise Massano. Bree Mercer. Catherine Morit. George Salakoris. Sayuri Shindo. Hood Sahid. Renee Louise Zappia. Ellis John Fell. Simon Mikhail. Jordan Emily Considine. Sofiane Dakash. Alice Miranda Douglas. Charlize Hannigan. Molly Jean Yeeman. Bahara Abdur Rahim. Alexandra Ashton. Madeline Bain. Matilda Baker. Laura Ashley Chilmaid. Rhiannon Davies. Bethany Claire Donlan. Sophie Jane Emery. Georgia Hampshire. Tamsin Charlotte McCall Hayward. Nina Weissel. Oscar Richard Jones. Jennifer Kaploon. Mitchell John Lord. Jacqueline Simone Marin. Zachary Sean Matthew. Alicia Marie Melville. Zoe Molino. Zara Bell O'Toole. Luke Alexander Redden. Jake Sass. Lily Georgia Simpson. Emily Louise Smith. Ethan Turpos. Jaidev Vias. Izuri Tatsarani Wakwale. Ben Kai Stanley Walker. Caleb William Campbell Watson. Harry Williams. Chloe Ann Williamson. Abby Louise Woods. Charlotte Ellen Woods. Michaela Ackhurst Juane. Rosemary Elizabeth Bastian. Shani Bethel. Tristan James Burke. Laura Burrows. Gregory Paul DiBattista. Florencia Di Martino. Sean Du. Tyler Edwards. Caitlin Elliott. Lincoln Ellis. Lachlan John Harlem Ewer. Jamila Rose Forbes. Amanda Nola Gwen Gurnet Attard. Brooke Paulie Kleinyan. J. Olivia Lacey. Jessica Christine Lumbrow. Shannon Leslie Evans. Joshua Eamon Masuti. Riley Ethan McDonald. Philippa Malm Morrison. Isabel Catherine Ogilvie. Tobias Henry Payne. Tiana Ashley Rogers. Yusuf Jamil Saad. Martin James Smith. Jezebel Ruby Spence. William Henry Springate Green. Lachlan James Toole. Jennifer Kate Townsend. Courtney Page Weston. Timothy Mark Witten. Anastasia Asi Zisopoulos. Matthew Bozeville. Caitlin Elizabeth Burrell. Gilbert Flynn Coombs. Patrick Denham. Indigo Rose Sanderman Gay Devane. Ryan Alexander Forrest. Caitlin Margaret Green. Stephen Isaac Harris. Leah Harvey. Lisa Marie Horner. Sonvi Karve. Georgia Kate Lewis. Anthony Philippe Martinez. Angus Stewart Mason Elliott. Liam Nathan McLaughlin. Thomas McMahon. Olivia Mikleas. Zoe Prandalos. Jesse Pupovats. Micah Quinn. Taisiana Reza. Aris Seitaridis. Matthew Sharp. Olivia Williams. David Timothy Kant. Charles Raymond Dodds. William Craig Harris. Emily Bradstock. Christopher Pateri Larikainen Gete. Stephanie Cowling. Jessica Drinnen. Annabelle Suzanne Green. Louisa Jane Lovaz. Louis Samuel Rosso. Ellen Boardman. Sana Eriksson. Dylan Gerald Casey. John Farid Darab. Sarah Najin Shin. Ruby Dang. Mani Louise Maddock. Jasmine Matthews. Natapol Fern Sutiyawan. Luke Fuller. Faizan Karim. William Matinka. Caleb Noakes. Adam Hope Turner. Jacqueline Matilda Holiday. Abby Philippa Jordan. Jared David Pritchard. Liam Michael Robinson. Nicholas Robert Tomasiello. Denna Al-Rifai. Sierra Alicia Catherine Beard. Adil Kaban. Sophie Burns. Hannah Renee Big. Lucy Brisbane. Caitlin Patricia Doyle. Laura Elizabeth Frank. Lauren Mary French. Rochelle Lopes. Rebecca Miles. Adele Moore. Keisha Parsons. Jessica Leanne Payton. Emma Gabriel Margaret Perry. Annalise Phipps. Sophie Tingay. Brianna Emily Williamson. Caitlin Byron. Kathleen Louise Gundry. Natasha Katsoudas. Sarah Peter Monge. Anika Heather Mestrom. Emily Nicholson. Emma Catherine Rita. Yunia Shabo. Taylor Ashley Baker. Oscar Donald Henderson Borshman. Georgia May McCorkle. Brooke Philippa Mully. Lily Charlotte Tonks. Taj Alexander Bush. Robert Marks. James John Brown. Sasha Kolimachowski. Simone Brewer. Caitlin May Scobie. Callista Lee Turner.
Deputy Chancellor, I take great pleasure in presenting the recipients of the University Medal in the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health for 2022. The University Medal is for outstanding performance and is awarded to the highest achieving student as determined by their academic performance across the entire undergraduate degree. for the University Medal in the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health, and for their bachelor's degrees. For the Bachelor of Science Honours in 2022, Katrina Zoe Edmond. Yay! For the Bachelor of Nutrition and Dietetics Honours and a Dean Scholar in 2022, Nathan Clay. And for the Bachelor of Medical and Health Sciences Honours and Dean Scholar in 2022, Tom Burda.
We will be continuing with the presentation of awards shortly, but I'd now like to introduce our musical item for today. It's a pleasure to introduce Sandon Groves. Sandon is currently studying his honours in psychology here at the University of Wollongong. He is a local musician who's been performing at weddings, venues and events for the last 5 years. Please join me in welcoming Sandon, who is going to perform Dancing in the Moonlight. Sandon.
We get it almost every night. When that moon is big and bright, it's supernatural delight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody here is out of sight. They don't bark and they don't bite. They keep things loose, they keep them tight. Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. We like our fun and we never fight. You can't dance and stay uptight. It's a supernatural delight. Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight.
We will now present the awards for our postgraduate graduates from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health.
Tegan Louise Jean Close. Caitlin Wellington. Belinda Leah Bruce. Stephanie Michelle Elizabeth Graves. Matthew Lino Fries Anderson. Kimani Jane Baskerville. Emily Beard. Anjali Danushni Marisha De Silva. Fergus George Mace Duncan. Hannah Rose Celeste Gibbs. Luke Joseph Hegedus. Emerson Darcy Kidd. Louise Annabelle Kulinski. Chung Fun Lai. Morgan Annie Nisi. Pritika Bhavani Ramanathan. Anish Rastogi. Emma Mary Seaton. Amelia Kate Shanahan. Alisa Schwarzbart. Rhea Tauk. Bruce Scott Wilson. Samantha Hao Yi Wong. Tess Elizabeth Mawson. Paul John Mulligan. Kalvant Kaur. Emily Sarah Wilson. Elizabeth Jane Den Elzen. Jacoba Louise Reimert. Rajvi Baratsin Gohil. Ruchit Rajesh Shah. Jessica Rose Conley. Robert Andrew Murray Nutt. Racha Abdul. Olivia Ellen Hodgson. Shuruk Mohammed A. Alogmani. Madeline Claire Boaro. Leah Isabel Robinson Carroll. Huda Chaban. Talia Barbara Diwa. Natalie Face. Jade Flanagan. Tara India Fraser. Shauna Doreen Gibbons. Jade Lyndall Selby Kiersey. Elise Justine Pye. Sarah Louise Reardon. Sarah Rohr. Hannah Louise Smith. Carla Marie Watts. Jia Ling Wu. Asu Eganga Ausaji Jimeno Ayuk. Kayla Jane Wakefield.
Deputy Chancellor, I present to you from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health for the Bachelor of Exercise Science and Rehabilitation with distinction, Matthew Paul Russis. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health for the Bachelor of Medical and Health Sciences with distinction, Tiana Shannon. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health for the Bachelor of Nutrition and Dietetics Honours Class 1, Tiana Forster. It is now with great pleasure that I announce our doctoral award recipients today. Will the graduates who are to be presented with the doctoral awards from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health please stand? Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the doctoral graduates from the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health, who, by reason of their thesis and other work at the university, have met the requirements for admission to doctoral degrees.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I confirm your admission to the doctoral degrees for which you have qualified. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you for their doctoral degrees.
for their study into factors contributing to treatment non-adherence in patients with kidney failure and adherence improvement strategies, Dr. Karim Mathil Murali. For their study into the synthesis and structural revision of glyphosate alkaloids, Dr. Brendan James Byatt. For their study of protein dynamics in the E. coli DNA replication system during lesion collisions, Dr. Gerline Kaur. For their investigation of the implications of increased wildfire activity for forest birds under climate change, Dr. Michael John Macquarie Franklin. For their study into interconnections between hydrodynamics and wetlands in estuaries and system responses to rising sea level, Dr. Christian Andreas Kumbier. For their study into firefighting on large bushfires in Victoria, Australia, the fireground operations and the effect of backburning, Dr. Heather Lorraine Simpson. For their study into the importance of definitions for whole grain foods towards improving population whole grain intake, Dr. Katrina Rochelle Kissock. For their exploration of nutrition education for medical professionals, Dr. Brianna Marie Lepre. For their study into determining modifiable risk factors associated with medial tibial stress syndrome development in long-distance runners, Dr. Joshua Paul McLean Mattock. For their study into the importance of diet quality and diversity in the context of plant-based diets to elicit beneficial health outcomes for people with chronic kidney disease, Dr. Jordan Elise Stanford. For their exploration into the neural mechanisms that control eccentric exercise, Dr. Joel Anthony Walsh. For their exploration of the role of cereal fibres in gut health and implications for dietetic practice, Dr. Georgina Margaret Williams.
I would like to now admit an emeritus professor to the university. I now present the candidate to be admitted as an emeritus professor of the university. Professor Paul Else, please stand. Deputy Chancellor, I present Professor Paul Lewis Else. As an alumni and contributor, Professor Else has a connection to the University of Wollongong that spans more than 5 decades. An esteemed researcher, leader, educator, and mentor, Paul's contribution both to the university and to the broader health sciences has been significant. Paul's future began with the completion of his Bachelor of Science, Honours First Class, at the University of Wollongong in 1979, with his research editorialized by the American Journal of Physiology as splendid. He went on to complete his PhD at the university, where he served as a research associate before winning a prestigious CSIRO postdoctoral fellowship to work at the University of California and the CSIRO Division of Human Nutrition. Going on to lecture at the University of Melbourne, Charles Sturt University and Deakin University, Paul returned to his alma mater to the University of Wollongong in 1994. It has been here that he has spent a large part of his distinguished career, which saw him become a driving force in the development of biomedical sciences at the University of Wollongong and one of our longest-serving faculty leaders. With international collaborations, including research at Cambridge, Aarhus and Brest universities, Paul's research is centred on metabolism and the role of cell membranes with far-reaching applications ranging from postnatal depression to ageing the brain in humans. Other research has included topics as diverse as, just wait for it, dinosaur lactation and ageing in honeybees. Who knew? A globally respected expert in his field, he has attracted significant research funding, produced more than 100 highly cited publications, spoken at national and international key conferences, served on review panels for major funding bodies, and collaborated with leading international universities. Paul has excelled in numerous leadership roles across the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health, taking over as head of the Department of Biomedical Sciences during a challenging and critical period in the university's history. He later served as head of several schools, faculty research chair, discipline leader, course coordinator, and more. Today, Paul remains an honorary professor at the University of Wollongong's School of Medical, Indigenous and Health Sciences, still contributing to teaching and publishing research work. Dedicated to training the next generation of academics, Paul has supervised more than 40 honours, masters and doctoral candidates, many of whom are now highly successful and influential academics in their own right. He is also a committed and collaborative mentor, guiding countless early and mid-career academics in curriculum and governance roles. Deputy Chancellor, Professor Els has contributed significantly to leadership, teaching and research at the university. Throughout his enduring and much valued association, he has brought rich experience, expertise and collegiality to advancing our culture and standing as a leading education institution. It is a privilege to present Professor Paul Els to be admitted as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor, I admit you as an Emeritus Professor of the University of Wollongong. Congratulations.
It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Emeritus Professor Paul Els to give the occasional address today. Please join me in welcoming Emeritus Professor Paul Els to the lectern.
Apologies for that. Members of the executive, honoured guests, fellow academics, families and friends of the graduates here, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. To the graduates, I would simply say congratulations. I am proud to say that I share with you the distinction of actually being a graduate in science from UOW. In fact, I met my wife here, so be careful. All my 3 children did their degrees here, and one even completed her PhD in law. I'm very proud of them. In fact, they're here, as your families here are very proud of you today. And in fact, I'm sure they're proud of you all the time. My own degree started back in 1976. That's right, 47 years ago. Education was free. Sorry, that's not going to come back. Parking was free. That's not going to come back. And UOW had around about 2,111 students, roughly, undergraduate students. 19 students that year graduated in science. Things have changed. I studied biology and chemistry. I think my parents were probably wondering what I was going to do with it, but I wasn't too concerned because I was there for the education, and I've observed over many years that if you enjoy what you do, you tend to do better at it, and there are always jobs for people who are good at what they do. So, do something you enjoy. It won't necessarily make you happy, wealthy, unless making money is what you enjoy doing, but you're more likely to wake up most mornings feeling pretty happy about it. Today I thought I would share with you my experience of my first 2 ever lectures at the University of Melbourne. My first lecture was to about 50 third-year students studying animal physiology. I was totally prepared. I mean, totally prepared. 10 minutes into the lecture, the overheads were flying, no PowerPoint in those days. It was all going well, and then everything stopped. Total darkness. All the power had gone out. And I can tell you from experience, you can't lecture in the dark. No worries, I said to myself, there's always the second lecture coming up tomorrow. 400 first-year biology students, should be good, in the main lecture theatre at Melbourne University. The lecture theatre at that time was impressive. It was in tiered rows, like the Colosseum, except more vertical. So they rose from the staging area, giving the impression of the entire audience sitting on top of you. It was absolutely packed, and it was totally intimidating. No problem, I thought to myself. I started off into the lecture. It was all going well until I decided to go off script. That's right, off script. And provide a proof of the surface area to volume relationship, which I hadn't done for a while. I gathered up the chalk, and with my back to the audience, I started into the proof. About 2/3 of the way through that proof, I looked at it and thought, that's not right. At that very moment, a few things happened. First, one of the students, politely, thankfully, noted, "I don't think that's right, sir." Something he and I both agreed on. The other thing that happened is I went into what is known as a total sympathetic nervous system cascade, more commonly known as panic, terror, fight or flight. I recognised these symptoms just before the thinking part of my brain decided to abandon my body. I clearly remember it, a fuzzy little cloud sort of just floating out of my head and just hovering out there, out of reach. And as it left my body, I distinctly remember it saying, "See you later, Paul. I'm going now." It was a truly horrible experience. I was left a human husk. So I turned around to the students, apologised, acknowledged that I'd got it totally wrong, and would do better next time. Move on. Only 2,800 more lectures to go in my career. So why am I confiding in you about my initial failures as a lecturer? Well, obviously, we all have a day or two like that. When this happens to you, just take a moment, admit to yourself or others that you need to do better, learn from the experience, move on. I always find mistakes made make great learning experience. And of course, you are all moving on. Some are going possibly to further study, others may have jobs already lined up, and many will be contemplating the where to from here question. To those contemplating the where to question, let me give you a little advice. I know, advice from the guy who's always been in academia. However, I've discussed career options with hundreds of students and have seen the results of their choices. Most graduates try to have some, career plan in their head, but few have firm plans. I mean, there are 12,000 different career options out there, and there can often be an element of serendipity in the process. I'm sure that our current Vice-Chancellor, when she started her Bachelor of Arts degree here at the University of Wollongong, did not foresee returning as its Vice-Chancellor 35 years later. So don't limit yourself. If you see a job and you think you would like to do it, within reason, formulate a plan and go for it. If it requires doing extra things, do it. I distinctly remember a science student once coming into my office to discuss her degree, and she'd been accepted, she already had a job lined up, and I said, what job is it that you actually have? She said she'd been accepted into the Navy helicopter pilot training program. Now, that wasn't on my list of normal jobs, but, she was really looking forward to it, and I think she was going to do a great job. And when you line up those, and when you actually line up those job criteria, if you're applying for jobs, just don't think about the actual discipline-specific knowledge that you have gained, but also think of all the innate skills and experiences that you have also developed. Things like communication, teamwork, report writing, cultural awareness, work health and safety. And especially for those graduates here today, I know that apparently curiosity is supposed to kill cats, but science students tend to be naturally curious, and it provides them with enhanced logic, enhanced reasoning skills, and problem solving through critical evaluation. It's a very useful thing to have. Finally, don't forget your accomplishments are shared with all the people here today and others who couldn't get here today throughout your studies that have likely supported you. In fact, right now, your families are extremely proud of you, and if there is anything you wanted from them, now is probably the time to ask for it. So in closing, I would like to again extend my sincere congratulations to the graduates here today and those that couldn't make it today, and I hope you have a fulfilling life. And don't forget us here back at Wollongong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emeritus Professor Paul Else. That really was inspirational. It's always good to share one's failures. They're far better learning than some of our successes, aren't they? I'd now like to call upon Katrina Edmond to give the vote of thanks. Katrina graduates today with a Bachelor of Science honours. Katrina was ranked in the top 5% of students in the Science, Medicine and Health faculty during her degree, earning her a place on the Dean's Merit List, and went on to receive the De Dominicis Foundation Health and Medicine Honours Scholarship, which recognises outstanding students starting their honours degree in the medical sciences. She has undertaken her honours work this year in understanding the neurobiology of mental illnesses. She had an extremely productive honours year, contributing to a high-profile multi-centre project involving researchers from Germany, the United States of America, Canada, Sweden, Brazil, and Iceland. Through all of this, Katrina volunteers every Friday at the Lifeline Wollongong store, with all profits from the store going directly to support Lifeline's suicide prevention hotline. Katrina is now undertaking her doctoral studies to continue to build on this work, and more recently, she now has been awarded the University Medal for her incredible efforts. Please join me in welcoming Katrina.
Deputy Chancellor, members of the University, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, friends and family. It is a great privilege to stand before you and on behalf of those graduating today, present the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate my fellow graduates on this momentous achievement. Although we span a diverse range of backgrounds and disciplines, what unites us is a passion for scientific endeavour, a dedication to strive for excellence, a desire for innovation and collaboration, and a special fondness for those mid-lecture cahoots. I have no doubt each of you will go on to achieve remarkable things, and for this, we have a few very important people to thank. To start, we thank the University of Wollongong. Its staff, both teaching and administrative, have been the backbone of the journey we celebrate today. I believe UOW to be unique in its ability to foster a vibrant and inclusive community amongst its students and staff. We are fortunate to be afforded the privilege of learning from academics who, as leaders in their fields, enthusiastically bestow us with their knowledge and skills, which will no doubt prove invaluable as we continue to navigate this world as lifelong learners. As we move forward onto new endeavours, let us be mindful of how each of them have helped to pave the way for our success. In saying this, we thank Professor Paul Else, whose message of legacy, humility, and curiosity is a shining example of just how much UOW and its people will stay with us as we move into the next chapters of our lives. Our sincerest thanks to each academic, each supervisor, each mentor, and each administrator. We are so appreciative for the opportunities you have afforded us. To our parents, our family, our partners, and our friends, we thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement. Your consistent love and confidence in us has been a source of strength and a driving force behind our success. Although we may never truly be able to repay all you have offered, just know we will forever remain grateful. Finally, as we leave today with our fancy new hats, I especially want to thank you, my fellow graduates. I know getting here wasn't easy, whether it be online learning, a global pandemic, or those tense lab and tutorial enrolments. Nothing could stop you. Please don't undersell your achievements. Today, we leave here well equipped to make a meaningful impact in our communities and our world. It is our responsibility now to not take this privilege for granted and to never forget who helped to make it all possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katrina. Graduates, families and friends, colleagues, we are coming to the close of our ceremony today, but before that, we would wish to share with you our graduation video. We hope this video will encourage you all to reflect on the infinite moments that have led to where each of us is sitting today.
Everything we've done has led towards today. But graduation seems singular. After all, it's one day, one degree, one end and one beginning. Think about it this way though. If we divide today by 4 years,
or 5 years,
or 3 years, or 8 years,
the equation becomes clearer. Because today isn't just an event or a graduation or a moment of change. It's what we've created through 24 subjects.
11 all-nighters.
357 books read.
54 5,000-word essays.
40 monologues critiqued.
154 films watched.
And 4 films made. Let's be real though. Our experience is way bigger than just the classroom. You've got to factor in
665 hypotheses,
6 heated dramas,
2 semesters abroad, 5 new cultures experienced,
12 concerts attended,
843 waves ridden,
169 hours lounging around,
17 dance parties,
2 major heartbreaks,
and more lifelong friendships than we can count.
When we take those experiences, the long days, late nights and early mornings into the equation, we realise that graduation at the University of Wollongong isn't just some singular thing.
That it's a transition from finding our purpose
to changing our world with the purpose we found.
That our passport to the future has been stamped
with the mark of a globally respected education.
And most importantly, we realise the moments that led up to this are
a tapestry,
a symphony,
an equation,
a 65,000-year-old history.
We realise that though today is a single moment, graduation is much bigger than any one day. Because, like an algorithm made up of bits of code,
or a building built from many bricks,
or a community built from many different people, today is the result of our
experiments,
experiences,
tests,
trials,
and victories.
So that's what we celebrate today. Not the cap, not the gown, but the infinite number of moments we shared at the University of Wollongong.
Graduates, I hope that, like me, you enjoyed watching that video and being reminded of the many moments that have made up your journey through your student life to arrive at your graduation day today. When I was watching it earlier, though, I was also reminded that it is those moments and experiences that mean what you have learnt in your time at UOW is both broader and richer than the very important technical components of your degrees. And it is this complete package which makes you the very well-rounded graduates that we are all so proud of today and every day. So before we close, as we're closing, I want to ask if our graduates can please remain seated and everybody else in the room please stand. And I would like all of you to join with me in congratulating our graduates by giving them a warm round of applause. And in return, I'd like to ask our guests to please be seated and our graduates to stand. As has been noted a few times today, graduates don't really do this on their own, as much as they sometimes think they do. So graduates, please turn to your family, friends, and supporters to thank them for their support of you on this incredible journey by again giving them a warm round of applause. Thank you. You may also now be seated. I would also like to warmly thank the many students and staff who have volunteered their time today to assist with making the celebrations go so smoothly. As you know, we all feel so incredibly proud to celebrate our graduates here today with you all. As you may have expected, we are experiencing some wet weather outside, so please take extra care when exiting the venue. You are still welcome to join us under the marquees. However, our uni bar is also available for refreshments if you would like to head directly there to help celebrate with our graduates. As we exit, our mace bearer will lead the academic procession, followed by the graduates and then our VIPs. Guests, please be patient and remain in your seats as the ushers will be giving you instructions on exiting the venue so we can get so many people out safely. So please take this direction from our ushers as you'll be exiting row by row. As it is raining, we will also be opening our front doors for guests once the graduates have left the hub. So again, congratulations once again to all of our graduates today, and I now declare this graduation ceremony closed.